Hello and welcome to the Hunt, Banish, Extract podcast, the podcast that's more brain dead than a cadaver in the morgue. I am your host, the Drunken Bard, aka DJ, and with me are my co-hosts, Tyler, aka Sleepy Weasel,
Right here.
Sir Kaiser, aka Richard,
Should have left me in the morgue.
Sir Nick, aka Colin,
What is going on?
and the sleepy no mortal Z, aka Aaron.
I'm just gonna point out I'm gonna be just as, if not more, brain dead than one of them bitches right now because I am so exhausted from this week.
It's all good, man. You're good.
Righteous.
Saul Goodman?
Yep.
Okay,
He's
so
here.
I have a couple announcements before we get right to the show. I want to first give a quick shout out to Hunt Lowdown. They are a couple of great chaps, Drake and Baldor. If you ever run out of our content, I realize that Hunt Showdown content is a little rare and hard to find. Please look up Hunt Lowdown. They are a great podcast, and if you run out of us, you have a whole lot of Lowdown to listen to.
Yeah, they probably
Where
have
can you
better
find
opinions than us too.
Right on Spotify, right on YouTube. I believe
right.
Drake and Baldor also stream, and you can find them under their links on their Spotify and YouTube, I believe.
Hell yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Yeah,
So-
nice guys. They actually tuned in. One of them tuned into when we were streaming earlier today. So
Yes, Drake. Thank you again, Drake. And also, we have got a couple of things that we want to do. I specifically am going to be streaming on Twitch 3 days a week from now on until who knows when. The Drunken Bard on Twitch. It's THEE Drunken Bard. You can find me on Twitch if you want to tune into that. Also, follow No Mortal Z, NOMORTALZE on Twitch. Make him stream again. Yell at him.
he'll stream again. I'm sure of it.
He will. He's a variety streamer though, so he'll give you a great time.
He's like, oh no, it's coming back.
Yeah, moving right into the show notes. So one of the biggest things that it's going to keep coming up, I'm sure, until we find a good middle ground. And I want to kind of introduce a possible second option to the whole trait. But Necro is clearly one of those things that a lot of people don't believe is ever going to be balanced. And it's kind of making a second coming, if you will, on to most platforms. Everybody's posting like clips of them rezzing, wiping a team. Well, I also want to talk to you boys first before we get into my idea. So I'll briefly start. I won't go too much into detail, but I purposely think that Necro needs a slight change. I don't think it's broken, but I don't think it's good, or I guess the word would be healthy in its current state. What do you guys think?
I would agree. I think it needs a bit of a nerf. I have an idea on how they could do it to where it would work, but I want to hear what you have to say first. So,
What do you think, boys?
Well, I'm pretty sure we've already gone over this a little bit, so
We have.
the same sort of thing in regards to like maybe either limiting amount of times you can respawn or making it so like that whole aspect of maybe burning out and it's like actually visible, so it's like you're not sitting around and it's slowing the play down. But
Hunt playdown.
Well, and of course, it's coming back up again because of the Infernal Pact. It's been around, but I wanted to avoid it as much as I could. It seems it's not going anywhere. They haven't even hot fixed Infernal, which is infuriating. But that's another subject. Colin, what do you think? You thinking it needs a slight change?
You know, I don't have the same opinion that you guys have about Necro. Like, I think it's fine, genuinely.
well, I
Okay.
don't think it's necessarily bad. I was just saying that like in certain MMRs, it's really affecting the game. Like usually in the higher is what I think
I just think it's
DJ's referencing.
I just think it
It's
slows
actually-
down the gameplay.
Or is it the lower?
It's the lower.
Because I've
Aaron,
seen more people wiping the ones that are really good in the higher MMR.
right, but higher MMR is appearing in lower MMR.
It's
Higher
true.
MMR
That's
is
true.
keeping the solos down. Aaron,
And
what do you
that's-
personally? Oh, sorry, Ty.
I was going to say, and that's another thing that Necro users do. High MMR people use it to take advantage of the dropping for to go into low MMR, and that's a big problem. So
It's the skill gap between like the newbies and the veterans.
Yep,
Because if you're
exactly.
running solo, you can easily take a trio
So
of
if you do that,
beginners.
you're a coward. Just want to say so.
Okay.
You tell
But
it.
no more, or Aaron, rather. Sorry. What are you thinking?
I don't care, to be honest. It slows down the game, yeah, but at the same time, it only slows down the game when they're consistently getting up really fast. We only see the one guy. We don't know if he has a team, and we want to make sure that they don't get back up because it's kind of annoying.
Well, it's annoying
At
because
the
they
end
can
of the
shoot you in the back.
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't really
Doesn't
affect
break
me as
it.
much
Well,
as.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
no, I mean I can agree with that too, because I think I have pretty strong opinions, I guess, on Necro, but at the same time, we've already found the perfect counter to it. We just know how to react when it does happen, so it's like whatever.
Keep on your guard type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I have. It's like people know how to counter Necro, and
Mhm.
so that's why I think it's not like it doesn't need
It's just the
anything
abuse of the
changed,
higher
I think.
MMR to the
Yeah, I think
lower
to the
one.
lower,
I think that's the real problem here because the
I
solo
agree.
will always be more like they'll be better because it adjusts the MMR as such.
But that sounds more like an MMR problem than a Necro problem.
You're right.
It is, but
You're
people
right.
use the MMR to get killed
But
by the same
it's
people
being
over and over
abused
to
right now,
drop their
so-
MMR. Yeah.
Well, I don't even necessarily think that, because one of the biggest problems with Necro, especially, is people who will empty out their bars and take all small bars so they can have 5 annoying reses. And if they take the current event traits, of course, they can't burn. It's not necessarily that they're strong, it's that they can't burn out. They're difficult to perma-death. It's more annoying than it is challenging.
Well, that's
Yeah.
exactly my point. Was like maybe limiting reses, like 5 reses is a bit much.
Right.
That slows the game way down. Like 2 or 3, I don't know.
I would
Which
say
is-
2 max.
Yeah,
Well,
Let's say
because
I-
it's like
2 or 3.
a second chance at death, but you almost have to have something else to give yourself a chance. But I guess this game is about death anyways, so you don't necessarily need that.
Well,
Get
I
some
also
iframes.
had an idea. I wrote down an idea, and I think that making it a burn trait, but not just a burn trait you can stack 3 times, because a lot of people seem to want the multiple resurrections. I don't necessarily
Gotcha.
disagree. I'll talk a bit in a minute about teams who have it, but you could stack it 3 times. It takes up 3 trait slots, so it would take up all 3 burn slots. You couldn't have shadow, and you would be able to have your Necro resurrections. You would have to pay the 4 points per Necro stack for it. And
Wow.
when it comes to teams, I think they could probably share that same thing, because it also does take up trait slots. I do think it could have a balance there, but I do wonder if maybe, well, I don't think the game's going to sense teams, so I don't think there could be a thing where a team only has 1 resurrection. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it would just have to stay like a solo thing personally, but that was literally exactly my solution. So
Yeah. But I definitely think that will.
That's interesting.
It will-
I honestly agree with Colin on it's more of an MMR problem with its current state.
But people aren't necessarily, in certain regards, arguing MMR. That used to be the case, but I think it's more of they're sick of making sure that a body doesn't chase them, regardless of if they win. It's not necessarily that they're afraid of dying. It's that they're really sick of the person coming up right behind them and interrupting a fight.
Yep.
No, I don't like when people want to, like, they're in higher MMR, but they want to go to lower. They just make the same person kill them over and over so that they can go in lower MMRs. I don't like that.
MMR
Yeah.
abuse too. That's true.
Yeah.
Where they're purposely MMR
Yep.
lowering. That's true.
So I think if they have Necro, I don't know like how they would be able to do this, but they should like be able to make it to where in a certain amount of time only like a death will count or something, but that could affect other deaths. So I don't know what they could do about that, but I'm just kind of spitballing. So
It's theoretical at this point.
yeah,
That's totally fair.
Yeah,
But
to be fair, they're not going to change anything really, so it's okay.
At least not yet. I mostly think that a lot of changes are waiting until we get the engine update. At least that's
Probably.
my biggest guess. I think that a lot of
Agreed.
the major updates are waiting right until major engine update, because I wonder if putting the Necro as a burn trait stack might accidentally deplete all stacks, or there's definitely spaghetti code going on in this game. Period.
Yeah. Definitely.
Also, I would like to apologize in advance for the last episode. We circle jerked the bat for roughly 20 minutes straight. Not that you guys hate the bat, but we also we don't think it's broken. We just had a lot to say, and the drunken bard was certainly inebriated. So I deeply apologize for that. So we'll try to keep the subjects light for the most part on this.
Living up to his name.
Yeah, I have to. It's part of the fun. But I want to bring up briefly, since we were talking just about the Infernal, is everything balanced in all of the traits in this event? What do you guys think? From your experience, we're about halfway through.
I called it.
You called it.
That
I
the
called it.
Infernal was going to be the
Infernal
most.
was going to be intense
Well,
and super
I
aggressive
definitely,
and great.
I completely agreed with you. I don't think there was.
Yep.
Right, but no, it's I think most people saw Infernal coming, if we're being honest. I think that was the giant red flag choo-choo train running straight through the train station off the rails, for being honest.
I mean, I feel like I guess Aaron was kind of with me too. I said, I don't know, I feel like they're all a little balanced. If anything, though, the Demented is going to be the one that's mostly ignored, which was
is true.
Yeah.
Demented,
Yes, it is true.
Demented is largely not useless. It's
Death is
niche.
situational, and then Demented is niche, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
am surprised that no hot fixes have come at all. I mean, definitely
Me too.
think that Demented and Death were at least semi-balanced with each other, mostly
Well, I
because
think
of Remedy in Demented. But I am really surprised that we haven't gotten a hot fix to the bodies not burning. I'm really questioning their balancing here.
Yeah.
With the Infernal, they don't burn.
Bodies don't burn if they have the first trait, the one that costs 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yeah,
light
that's
on
broken.
fire. They can still char, but they don't light on fire.
But it
Right.
takes-
They won't,
That's broken. Yeah, that's
and
broken.
it takes longer.
That's not
Yep.
very fair if you're on the Well, what did they talk about that actually?
No, the streamers did. Nobody else did. Well,
No,
besides
I mean, I
the
swear they
community.
said like you'd burn out less. Like it would take more time to burn out.
Yes, which is exactly the problem, because if the fire source dissipates, they don't continue burning.
Especially during rain maps like we've been getting.
Yep.
That's true.
So you have to keep a fire source on their body and camp it. That's exactly what we were saying with Necro being a problem here. Past the event, it's business as usual, but of course. Whereas I'm usually okay with an alternative source of gaining their bars back. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think there could be a healthy way to do it as long as it's a burn trait.
Mhm.
Oh,
But-
Rampage is actually like pretty good. Like it's a fun treat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Rampage, it was perfectly
works.
designed, I think.
And it
Everything
rewards
else doesn't
aggression.
work.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's fine. But I guess we would largely agree that a lot of the traits they they sort of fall as an event would have them, and there's one completely imbalanced one again. I
Hmm.
don't think we're really going to get a change, especially if we're halfway through. So that's unfortunate. But at the same
Yeah,
time,
it is what it is. So
it is what it is. And there was actually one thing that I thought was pretty cool, since we were talking so much about the dark maps and the fireflies, which actually came up again in another chat that I looked at, because there was a bunch of other people that were speculating. But they said that there should also be something that should happen in the opposite sense of most noise traps. They should have
Mhm.
like frogs that go quiet, or they should have crickets that stop chirping.
Mm-hmm.
You think
And
so?
I love it. I love that idea. It's like it adds a different layer of intensity, I think.
And a
It
noise.
maybe more to the environment, I guess, is that kind of the immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's where this game is a very environment
Uh-huh.
heavy game. I think there is a
It could
strong
work.
place for it, and I'm all for it.
It just might take away from the monster aspect of it, though, because kind of the ravens or crows, whatever the hell we're gonna call them, they
Are you kidding? They'll
kind
just
of
pour stone
add to
traps
that
everywhere.
whole like eat the dead and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, they'll
Well,
just put more stone traps everywhere. It's okay.
I disagree, because I think that it still adds to the atmosphere. I certainly don't think that the zombies are chasing frogs into the pond. And
Well, I mean, there's water devils. They probably eat everything.
I guess that's fine, but I still think that there would be frogs that would exist somehow. And even so, maybe that's another thing. Maybe you set quiet down the frogs leap in the pond, and it sets off the water devil right next to you and creates noise and silences the
There
frog.
you go. There
So-
you go.
I think there's ways they could do it.
Because it's
personally.
like the horses. Like, there's no live horses except for the ones that are injured, just waiting to scream at you.
Yeah.
So
Right, and you think the zombies wouldn't have eaten them already?
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like they should be like they're injured, but they're around, just lying around.
So there definitely could be at least some sort of other noise trap in a sense. I at least think that it's a plausible idea, if nothing else. And there
Yes.
was even a thing that I saw that wanted to make generators useful, which is funny because I found a certain scenario where if you catch a team inside and you are near the generator, unless you hate the noise, turning on the generator is incredibly disruptive to the team inside and allows you to siege the bounty if you're lucky and you know exactly where to go. So the generators do have some use, but somebody wanted to make even more use of them. And they want to make it so that there were random wires that were cut off and they would electrify certain pools of water, making the hunters make noise if they touch the electricity and get shocked. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's interesting. I think obviously they would have to implement electricity more into the game before they even think about doing that. But yeah, because right now there's only Rotjaw. So
I was going to say, I mean, Rotjaw doesn't.
Yeah, it's
so it could be similar to her effect where it slightly debilitates your stamina. They don't have to make anything brand new.
Yeah, I just think that what I'm saying is they just need it in more places. I think than just the one, but obviously one step at a time.
That's fair. Well, there was actually one big fact that I was completely surprised by, and I purposely didn't touch on it just yet because when they made the announcement for the uppercut precision, I was a little bit curious. I actually haven't done the math to it yet. I would like to. I actually haven't done the math on the precisions at all, but some of the pistols added later in Hunt have a slower draw animation. Which, if you're questioning what the hell is that, well, if you take a shot with your sparks, you pull out your secondary pistol, that draw animation, if you use a Pax or a Nagant Brawler, Dolch, any of the older pistols, they actually unholster faster as opposed to like the new Army, the Sparks pistol, the Scottfield. They all draw out of the holster slower.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that.
It's ever so slightly slower. It's a couple of milliseconds, but that could be a difference between a kill and dying.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in a tight spot, you know.
Well, and what's even more fascinating is I didn't do the math on the other ones, but I did watch a little video. The uppercut actually gets a slower holster animation if you're fanning. So not unholstering, but holstering after fanning.
Oh, interesting.
Which I
Yeah,
got
that's-
both from Reddit, which is really weird and not something you would actually
I don't
think
think
of.
that also doesn't sound intentional either.
It's got to be a bug, but it's at least the uppercut. But the pistol is being added later. I mean, that's definitely a bug, but that's an exploitable bug that most people should take advantage of until they fix.
Right. Yeah. To be fair, though, there's a lot of other problems I need to fix first. So.
We're already getting spaghetti code where pumpkin heads from the butcher spin wildly out of control out of the
Oh
bounty.
yeah, we got that
Yeah, I don't
recorded.
know.
That was
Disco
really
dance.
nice.
That was totally not a bug. I don't care what you're saying.
No, that was definitely on purpose and
On purpose.
implemented. Yeah.
It was actually mesmerizing to watch, if I'm being honest.
Pretty sure we
Well-
got killed right after, didn't we?
Slightly after, yes, which brings me to my next point. Because a lot of players have a lot of bad matches. Hunt taketh, as they say. And I would like to go last, but I'm going to start with Mr. Sleepy Weasel first.
Uh-oh.
When we get tilted as shit, what's your biggest thing to calm down? How do you calm down from a shitty match of Hunt?
Besides stop playing.
I mean, that's not a bad answer.
Usually, well, obviously winning makes me calm down, so I just run a loadout I'm good with, I guess. Usually I just take a Centennial and a Officer Brawler, because that's like my go-to, like easy way to get kills type weapons. So I don't know. Are you talking in terms of the game or just in general, like what I do to
Just-
calm down?
Both. How do you calm down in Hunt Showdown?
Maybe I
That's
just
it.
draw at the same time while I'm in loading screens usually, but
Hell yeah.
yeah.
What about you, Richard?
Hmm.
He looks at my nudes.
Sometimes.
True.
No, actually, I think I usually either honestly stop playing or give it a break in general. Like I'll even like not touch it for a week or two, maybe even longer sometimes.
Yeah. You're really good at that when you're like, I think I'm gonna be done. Like
Yeah.
you're really good at
Usually
like
when I'm not-
calmly, like yeah.
Usually when I'm not doing very well, I'm just like, well, I'm probably tired or need something
Yeah.
else. So
Yeah.
I try to scratch another itch per se. Maybe play a more calmer game or something like that.
Yeah.
Some fucking solitaire.
No, not solitaire.
Some
Just not call me.
Some like Windows XP pinball. That's
The
good.
pinball,
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, Tetris is such a good relaxer.
Oh yeah, you've been into that lately. Yeah. Except
So
you've been playing
since-
it competitively, so
Well, Aaron, since you chimed in, what do you usually do when you want to get off of Hunt and get off that?
Stop playing.
That's just it. Just put the
just
game
stop
down, huh?
playing. Yeah, there's
Just
no
means it's
reason
not
for
doing
me to.
it then.
No,
yeah.
the second you get angry at
Okay.
something, you just gotta kind of take a step back and realize you just. I don't know. I feel like you
Like
just gotta take a step back
Yeah.
and make sure that it's not that it's just the game. You know.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
And
it is a
it's-
game. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's,
true.
it's always best to cut it early than it is to like continue playing and just continue getting worse.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Well, like, do you just play Tetris? Do you just is there something like a?
Nah, dog. The
couple
main thing's
videos.
getting off.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the
That's
secret. You heard it
New
here, folks.
perspective.
What about you, Colin? What are you thinking?
He hits his desk.
I think
I
you're
do.
gonna say something nice.
Yeah, I just scream at the mic and call them names.
Usually works, right?
It's how I treat the rest of life. I just brute force my way into another one until about it.
Yeah, there you go.
You headbutt until you headbutt through the desk.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
just-
end up with a concussion that
just push!
lasts the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, his mom didn't raise a bitch, so.
Yeah.
Mama don't raise no bitch.
I
Honestly?
push.
Yeah, keep going.
No, that's it. Sorry.
You just
I know
push.
what you do though, Deej.
I push.
You fucking push. All right, Ty, tell me what I do.
You drink.
I drink, and then I
And I
drink,
know things.
and then I drink, and then who are you? And then I go to sleep.
You mean be like, I'll be back in a couple hours.
And then we
Realistically,
and then
yeah,
Aaron and I switched to Halo. He's not coming back. It's okay.
At least we're having
realistically,
fun.
especially when I used to play solo, it sometimes is a thing now. I would usually run a loadout that I don't think is necessarily conventional, one that I don't necessarily think is going to make me win, but I know that it's going to make me have fun. Like I'll run a hunting bow,
Yeah.
I'll run a
Yeah.
Romero
Loadout.
hatchet. You know,
That
it
sometimes
just
helps too.
with the fire rounds, you know, on the Romero hatchet, not necessarily making it completely meta. I'll take like concertina traps. I'll take the melee weapons. I'll take tomahawk and throw the fucking world weapons at him. You just gotta have fun when the game isn't. And if
Make your own
you are
fun.
right, and if you can't be calling and butt your head into the next game, and you can't be Aaron and Tyler and Richard, actually, I apologize, and just leave the fucking game, just play stupid shit. It's okay to lose, guys.
Yeah, double axe it. Come on now.
Double
Exactly.
axe. Double
Double
baseball.
axe.
Meta.
Double
But if you gotta
railroad
quit the
hammer.
game, play competitive Tetris, apparently.
Competitive Tetris. That's what
Man,
we
I've seen some old school competition with Tetris, and man, that stuff's intense. I can't imagine. Like I'll bet you that's even harder to do like than
I'd
Hunt
get more
is
stressed than Hunt.
competitively. Yeah, jeez, the stuff's scary. Those players are so
Seriously.
dang good.
But on the opposite end of rage, what are the guns we never see? I will start to give you guys an idea. I, honest to God, almost never see the Verily Deadeye. Almost never.
These days, yeah, I'd say.
Um,
I used to see it a lot
I
more.
don't know. I see personally me.
Oh.
I do see it a lot. So I used to get headshot by them. So
Well,
they always have high velo rounds. So
oh, you meant my gun. I thought you meant like there isn't a gun you don't see. But me personally, it's not as a bad weapon. I just think people don't care.
especially now that the Cyclone's in the mix,
Well, what don't you see, Ty?
the packs.
Damn.
True.
I just wish that gun had some more love.
I run the packs.
I know. We
Yeah,
love
it's
the
not about
packs.
what you run, dumbass.
Well, I fight him with it. And
And the shooting gallery. Yeah.
The shooting range.
What don't you see, Richard?
I actually have to think about it. Because I think it varies. Like, I mean, I
That's
haven't
fair.
seen a bomb lance in forever.
Oh, actually, yeah,
That's kind of true.
that is very true. Especially now that the bat's in, they're like, oh, let's just get a faster.
There's
melee
the iron side. I haven't seen very much.
Ooh, that's probably the best answer so far.
I don't know. I've seen a couple iron sides, if I'm being honest.
I never see them. That's
Oh.
crazy.
Well, I think the iron side is because of the price, and like you might as well just bring the normal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so fast.
I
to
haven't
reload.
seen as many Lopez as I used to, though.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
That could
As I
be due
used
to
to.
any number of things.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's
Colin
in
hasn't
been
American
playing
side
a second
of
on my
the
answer.
bomb lance.
Okay,
You got
Aaron.
something, Aaron?
You gotta give me a second on my answer, dude. I really don't know.
Okay.
So I gotta look at the guns real quick.
No, you're
Okay.
good.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yes, Colin. Yes.
I never see the Scottsfield Precision anymore.
Damn, that's a good answer.
That's a pretty good answer, yeah.
The
I don't see that one either.
Scottsfield 5000.
Well, and now that the Schofield
5,000.
has the no, I was right the first time. Schofield has high velo rounds now. Like the precision should be like in a pretty dang good spot right now.
It should be.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of people on Reddit said the standard Nagant. I completely disagree because I see a lot of people that either prestige or are new, but if they're new, they're usually a new account. Wink, wink. 1.6 KD or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
we're a new
standard
account,
Nagant,
huh?
especially with fanning and now the bleed rounds, that shit slaps. Are you kidding me?
Well, not only that, the stock version of that, doesn't it shoot slightly faster? Like have a faster fire rate?
Yeah, the Nagant Precision.
Yeah.
But honestly, when
thing's a
he said
monster.
the Schofield Precision, that made me kind of sad because it's not a bad Schofield. It's just the Spitfire takes its place too often. Too often.
Of course.
Too often.
Yeah.
And it's a medium
Faster,
slot.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Yeah, so it's
With
like
no extra ammo
harder.
pool.
it's harder
Yeah.
to make a cohesive loadout with a pistol that takes a medium slot.
That's
That
why
Yeah.
isn't
nobody
long
picks the upper
ammo.
mat.
That's not the upper mat or
Well,
the
and
precision uppercut.
yeah. Well, and while Aaron's still thinking of his answer, I hope that he brings us up just in case we get too rambly. Besides did you think of something?
There's two things actually that I don't really see all that often anymore
All right,
Yeah.
shoot.
in comparison to before. Like completely honestly, we wide range in our MMR. I don't see the Optima anymore. Like almost
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
Actually,
one.
yeah.
Even in 5 stars, you're right.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
that's
It's
true.
like it's
Like,
really.
actual
I feel like
nerfs
it's really
around.
fucking weird. But that, and then I for as popular as the Bornheim is right now, the Bornheim match,
Damn.
like almost never see that gun at all. The
And the
Optimat's like completely gone though. Like I haven't seen that thing in not since it got nerfed, to be honest. Not since right after.
You're not wrong.
To be fair,
I don't think it was that hard of a nerf, really. It still
It wasn't, but
slaps.
nobody uses it anymore.
Yeah.
to be
That
They
fair,
arrow
don't
pool.
abuse it anymore.
I
That's
think
why.
I used the match today, and since it's a 2-hit kill, I actually kind of like it. So, just
I
saying.
love
yeah.
the match.
It's just, I think a lot of people pretend it's the small slot Bornheim and ignore it, sadly.
Yeah.
But one thing that I had a mini thought about, and it was actually specifically kind of regarding what Colin was saying about how he never sees this Schofield Precision. I wonder if, minus the Dolch Precision and Bornheim Precision, I wonder if the other Precisions could get an ammo pool buff because it takes up 2 slots. I know that you could take Frontiersman, but why the hell would you take one of those precision pistols when you could take a mini Mosin, when you
Yeah.
could take a mini Caldwell Rival or the Spectre Compact with slugs or something really, really dirty? When you could take a Schofield when it has like a 6-round buff with like FMJ, giving the precision ones a little more incentive, because I don't think anybody's saying, yeah, I'd take the precision over the handheld when they could just take a rifle, and the Spitfire. Nobody's really saying that. I wonder if there's any little incentive they could give it.
Yeah. I'm sure they could think of something, or they won't, and it'll just die out.
I just think ammo because of the slot difference, and not a huge one, just an extra round.
Just a little kick, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Extra round of bullets might really spice things up.
I would say like half, since it's only
Maybe
going up
even
one
3.
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So instead of the full 6, let's just do 3 more bullets.
Yeah.
I'd be
I
fine
think
with
that's
that.
It's
fair.
something.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's something. Also, one thing that I wanted to clear up from the last stream, because we did run in circles around it. I do think that we got a couple of things wrong about the bomb lance, specifically in the bat. I think the bomb lance might one-shot doors. I actually need to test it. I keep prestiging. I'm sorry. I really have the tools to test it. I'll get to it. I'll run into it into a future podcast. But specifically, the machete and the baseball bat, it actually surprised me because we talked about how the baseball bat has a very high stamina pool, which is completely true. And the bat and machete, I tested it in the shooting range. I'm not sure if you would really notice. They have almost the same, the same range in terms of swing, in terms of where you would hit enemy hunters. I mean, the machete, of course, swings from unless if it's a heavy swing, it swings from left to right, and then light swing left to right, or right to left, and then the baseball bat's always right to left. But they have an identical range, except for the baseball bat seems to have a slight, maybe 1 meter range on a heavy swing. I kind of couldn't make it consistent when I tested it in the thing. But both of them seem to be a very similar weapon. It's shocking to me that nobody even notices or cares. Maybe the machete still gets arm shots, because most people on Reddit are saying they're getting arm shots to the like they'll hit the body, but they'll hit the arm first. And they were saying that there's somehow penetration damage and it goes through the arm into the body, whereas the machete would always hit the arm.
Right.
So it feels like the machete often doesn't one-shot when it's supposed to, but the bat, you're almost always one-shotting because it's 153 on a heavy swing. It's weird. It's weird because they feel the same, but they're not. Not even close. At least in terms of... Oh, go ahead, Ty.
I was just going to say, I want to point out that it sounded like you said the machete.
The McShitty. Nobody takes a McShitty when you can have a GAT, a GAT bat.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, that's fine. But yeah, no, there's a lot of strangeness when it comes to the two, because they're supposed to be identical single slot weapons, 1 slash, 1 blunt, but it's really hard to tell unless you have consistent ping, I guess, and that slight baseball heavy bat swing manages to get just a meter outside of range. It was hard for me to realistically tell, and I could get it at a weird angle, so you be the judge. Honestly, prove everybody wrong about the baseball bat, please. Everybody wants to be rid of bat fever. At least me. I love the bat, but I definitely would like just the stamina reduction, and like Richard said, just don't make it swing so damn fast. It's way too fast.
It is fun, though.
It's great. I think it swings way faster than
I
a person could realistically
haven't
swing
used it against people other than you. I haven't taken it into an actual match.
Big mistake.
It's just because, I don't know, I have more fun shooting things, I guess.
I think most people do. I think it was just it was great to be surprised by such a fucking fun weapon. There was actually somebody in my Twitch chat, good dude. He was talking to me, and he brought up a point that a lot of people in Reddit have been making, that you should be able to swap out one of the pistols from dualies. And I don't know how realistic that balancing would be.
Nah, I don't like that.
Well, I even had a slight thought, because I guess a lot of people might argue this too. What if you could drop one of your dualies, single-hand it, and then pick up the other dualie?
Like, so you have 2 of the same gun?
No. So you drop one of your dualies, you have the single pistol, the other one's on the ground with only 6 rounds inside of it, and you could aim and fire that single dualie and then pick up the other one.
Switch from dualie to single.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I guess the hunter is only trained in dualies when he's picking up the dualies versus the other one.
I don't necessarily think it would be imbalanced, if I'm being honest, and I don't even love
think it's
dualies.
the worst thing. No.
I just don't. I think when like you kill people and you're like, crap, I can't take this gun because I got too many slots. Like that's part of it. Like, and that'll just kind of make it to where more people have bigger guns. I guess. I don't know.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, the biggest setback to this whole idea is the engine, because I can only imagine what the fuck would happen to the pistols. They'll probably duplicate
Disappear,
infinitely
Yeah.
or
Oh my
disappear.
gosh, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's already a possibility that happens. So
It's a huge possibility, but it was just one of those thoughts. I do wonder about the swapping one pistol.
interesting.
It would be fascinating at the very least. And one funny thought that I can't get out of my head now because somebody brought it up and now I can't unsee it is you have the yellow burn barrels, you have the red explosion barrels, and the green hive barrels. Now all I see is ketchup, mustard, and relish
Yum.
Oh yeah.
barrels.
Yum.
Yum yum yum. Yeah, that's great.
I just thought it was
Barrel
awesome.
sandwich.
Well, it's just a great name, period. Quick name too.
Yeah.
Watch out for the relish. They're coming to get you.
Relish is gonna.
Ketchup.
Oh. Also, I did
Ketchup will
test.
blow you up and give you some diabetes for good.
Hell yeah.
Damn! But I did test the saber since we did talk about it a little bit. And yes, it one shots to the head with a light melee. Because I said that it has to. It probably does. It does. It
Good.
has a 1 meter difference from the bat and the machete with the heavy swing. And it is slower than the bat and the
Of course.
machete. I understand it being slower than a machete, but the bat is a little weird, especially since 1 meter is such a small margin.
Well, especially with
Well-
melee, because you're not focusing on how many meters am I away from this person. You're just gonna want to
Yeah.
run up to them and touch them, and then
And trust me
Yeah.
when I say, when I did the testing in the shooting range, it didn't seem like much. It will be clutch when you need it to be, but man, it is not as much as people think.
yeah, I'm not surprised though.
It was surprising to me because I think Saber is the most balanced melee weapon in the game besides
I
Bomb Lance.
agree.
And
I'm just not surprised because the bat is. It's just
It's
gonna,
strong.
there's gonna have to be some changes to either melee in general or the bat. So
well, right, and we beat the dead horses in
yeah,
the
so
with
yeah,
that
that's
kid
that's
death.
why I didn't really want to.
All right.
That doesn't exist anymore.
All right. Okay. But there was one huge opinion that I really wanted to get from you guys because it's honestly one of the biggest contention points in a lot of people's eyes because they're not
Garbage.
sure how to feel about, just like you and me. But the Rotjaw dilemma, because originally Rotjaw was one of the coolest ideas that ever came to the Bayou, but now currently there's a bit of a soft spot in terms of weakness of how Rotjaw really is in terms of going after the other bounty or going after Rotjaw. We've even ignored Rotjaw, if we're being completely honest,
Oh, yeah.
because the double bounty always is more appealing. But I'll mildly go first here just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking. But I don't stand down from what I said about Rotjaw being out in the open, and I definitely think that boss layers were a little too oppressive. But I did have an idea that there could be pieces of metal and wood or like random, broken down vehicles near rivers and, really tactically, cleverly placed pieces of cover near Rotjaw spawns just throughout the river, and it would really help people who are running out in the open. What do you guys think overall?
That'd be
I
interesting.
mean, I mean, Richards, in my opinion, on Raja. We need a stronger Raja. We need a faster
Bigger
Raja.
Raja.
bigger Raja.
I don't think Raja needs
Raja
to.
on land.
Yes,
I
Raja
don't-
on
We need,
land.
we need a
on
Raja
land.
that's not completely immune to damage while she's completely submerged in the water.
Yeah, we need.
If that's the
I'm
case, then
okay
B
if she's
tier.
like immune. I'm just saying, if you're trying to get the hell out of the water, I want her to chase your ass. Kind of like how the emulators chase you, the dogs
Yeah.
chase you.
Mhm.
I want her to beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Well, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
what I'm
obviously,
saying. Make
the
her
stronger
more
they-
appealing. I need her to be like
a challenge. Yeah.
super. Like I need her a reason to go after her. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah,
Right.
which obviously,
So
if
if the fight's better, then
they can make her have 2.
they'll be like, "Oh, that's
points
so
or
fun! I
something.
want to keep
Yeah.
experiencing that."
Just to softly add to that before I ask Colin, because I want Colin to go next. It sounded like he had something. I definitely think that she should be worth a bounty and a half. That might get a little more people to chase it, at the
How do you
very
half
least.
it? Just real quick.
What?
It just needs to be worth more than what
Yes.
a regular
Yeah.
bounty
Yeah, it
is.
needs to be
Yes.
worth more.
A
Yep.
bounty and a
Yes.
half.
Yes.
But how do
Agreed.
you
Well,
make
I'm
it a
down.
half
no, that's
bounty?
just in terms of the worth, because it each
Like the
bounty's
XP,
worth
the
a
money.
certain amount.
So you make
Yeah.
it like 7 seconds instead of 5.
Right.
no,
because,
no, I wouldn't say that.
No.
Because that's a bounty and a half.
No. I'm not talking
No,
about
which-
scanning seconds.
Just talking about worth. Just
Yeah,
worth
I
in
know,
terms of
but I'm
XP.
just saying you have to make it applicable. You have to make it mathematical somewhere.
That would break the engine, I feel. I don't care about scanning seconds.
what
I
I'm
care
saying.
about. Well,
I know
no,
you don't care about scanning seconds.
I think
I'm
what-
saying that if you make it a bounty and a half, so how do you simulate that when you only have one
Points.
bounty?
Rewards.
Points.
Yeah.
So at
rewards.
the end, that is there,
Yes.
but how do you know that?
What do you
Does it
mean? How
show
do I know that?
No. It
Because I
actually
picked the
shows you
Russia.
in game how much your bounties are worth.
Yeah, at the end.
No. It
Uh-huh.
shows you in game.
Yes. So basically, I wouldn't want it to be worth one bounty token. I would want Raja to be worth 1 1/2 of the second one. That's it. 1.5.
In terms of how much it's worth. Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Colin, what were you gonna say?
I don't know if I was gonna say anything, honestly.
Okay. Well, Aaron, you're clearly
Sorry.
opinionated. No, you're solid. Don't even worry, boo boo. So, Aaron, what were you gonna say?
What? No, I was just trying to
Just
explain
reiterate?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think
pretty
he
much
was-
we're at least pretty much on the same page.
I think so. I understand what you guys are saying. I don't know.
I'm
Okay.
gonna post it, Richard, just so that you can see.
No,
what
I
mean.
know what you're saying. I'm just saying in
Okay.
my own way.
Well, I'm going to go in a different direction here, and it's actually one of the most important opinions that most hunters can have when they play Hunt Showdown. What is the direction of Hunt to you? Like, how do you feel like it's going? I'll start again just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking. I definitely think that traits are getting a little too strong somewhat, and what I mean by that is like solos are obviously being a little too buffed. Necromancy obviously makes them get up too many times. I definitely think they'll find a middle ground. I don't think that's a huge deal, but I definitely think that a lot of the skins are getting a little too eldritch horror-y and not cowboy-esque. I kind of agree with some of what a lot of the other fans are saying. I feel like a lot of the cowboy element and Louisiana Bayou is being missed. I think certain skins that are being released are hitting the mark, such as like the Moors or whatever the big Blackbeard dude is, and then the Bark. I can't remember that fucking guy's name, where he's got like the half
The
wood
mask.
mask.
Yeah.
And then he's got like the axe that he throws during his animation. I think we're going right and wrong. I think there's just too much like supernatural shit going on. I don't think it's too much yet, but I definitely want to dial it back before it goes too far. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really thought of it that way, but yeah.
Well,
I think-
and
I want
go ahead.
I want more gunslinger type skins, I guess. I don't know.
I don't want the game to increase in speed. I want it to stay right where it is or slow down just a hair. Because I definitely don't want a rapid fire shooter with everybody dying like left and right. Like I really like the slow, methodical, thought out shooting.
Yeah, where it's like slow, like you have to plan your shots. You have to.
Yeah, listen to your opponent. You know, you can't just run out when you hear an opponent running up, jump around the corner and immediately shoot him. You should be punished for that kind of shot. Like a jump shooting, like Call of Duty thing. I definitely think that that's bullshit. In a sense, I like tactical. I like that you wait till they round the corner and kill them, not like run around, crouch immediately, and shoot them. Like the fast-paced gameplay of Call of Duty and stuff. I definitely think we need to keep Hunt its own genre
I agree.
of shooter.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, it obviously it already is, but
It is. Right. I'm saying I don't want to pass that threshold.
Yeah.
What do you guys think overall? Is there any other opinions? Like you just like, yeah, Hunt's good.
No, I mean, pretty for me, anyways. That kind of covered it. So.
Okay. Richard, what do you think?
I'm kind of at a crossroads if I'm being honest.
You wouldn't
Like-
mind more speed?
It's in some instances. In other instances, I get kind of sick of it because you have the speed of like different things like fanning and stuff, but fanning isn't as much of an issue as it used to be.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, that's true.
And I definitely
I don't
think
know. I think I'd speed up the bounty stuff though. I think the map feels stale half the time. Like we need more like wild targets or something. We need something to be happening on the map besides just like the atmosphere needs to be emphasized or something.
well, I wouldn't even mind taking away 5 minutes from the map time where you have to get out. I definitely wouldn't mind at least increasing that because it used to be 60 minutes. And my God, I've had a match where that lasted the whole 60 minutes. You know, I wouldn't mind lowering it to 45, 35, or sorry, not 45, 40 or
Things do need to go a little
35.
faster.
Just a hair.
Just a hair.
Yeah. And
But
that
I
wouldn't
don't-
necessarily move the gunplay along. That would just emphasize making people get off their ass and stop crouching, maybe. Just a wee bit.
Yeah, you don't need to fix the way the guns feel. You need to fix the way the match plays.
Actually, I have this great idea, guys. It's never been done before. You have a map, right? But the more time passes, it starts to shrink, and you have to move towards the middle.
No, hang on.
Everybody for
Please.
themselves.
Make that a game.
I've got another idea. Okay, right. Like fuck all that. Fuck balancing. You have $5, right? And there's this dance that you can buy. And you can fucking just dance right on top of the haters and just fucking just clap and fucking do the Russian dance. You could fucking hit the gritty.
I was
and we
talking
can
the other
put-
day to one of my coworkers, and I was like, you know what? The one thing Hunt needs: emotes.
Please, no.
It needs emotes so bad.
That's why we
I
have new
think we
weapon
need to-
inspect.
we need to start having more guest characters like Master Chief, some Star Wars cameos. This has never been done before either.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's gonna be ambitious.
Jesus, as a
Yeah,
skin, you're
honestly,
right.
Jesus would be great. That'd be
Okay.
so fucking funny.
Pull up, yeah,
that would
kinda
be so
cool.
funny.
That's like coming in a sense, I guess.
Just the skin. It's just this guy named
It's
Jesus.
just called The Second Coming.
You
He's
fucking
like literally invincible and you can't kill him. He's like genuine.
You hit him.
He costs $50,000.
Oh my god. Somebody's gonna flex their fucking money on that shit. Well, you hit him with a bleed round, and you just hear like the fucking like gospel playing, like the and then you just see like this white glow around him.
And then like instead of like healing, like when you're around him, like you start drinking wine or something.
No, you
Yeah,
heal when he
so-
bleeds. You heal when he bleeds.
Yeah, there you go.
But honestly,
That would be kind of interesting, actually. Like a mob that there's like several mobs that are scattered around that like can mix up fights like that. I don't know. Maybe not. Now I think about it, that could be bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need something else to either slash speed it up, slash to make the map more
Well,
interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
Stale.
definitely speed it
Season
up
to season.
without ruining the gunplay at all. I don't want the gunplay to be touched. I think it's almost gone too far.
Make more random events happen.
True.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I kind of stepped away for a second, so I don't know if you guys said this while I was gone. But I wouldn't be
did.
opposed to with the re-emerging of the fire maps, a shrinking map size where the fire just like it's how it starts in random
Oh,
map, just like cuts off entire compounds. It spreads from where it starts.
Yeah.
As long
I
as
would-
you can still run
And
through
that's
it.
the type of events
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like literally
Well-
making it so the map changes in some way that it makes it you have to adapt. You don't have it
Yeah.
memorized.
I love the
people love Fortnite.
yeah. Well,
That's what
I
I'm
love
thinking,
the
yeah.
fire spreading idea, especially since you could implement it in such a way that you could still run through it, not necessarily make the whole map cut off. But once again, I'm going to reiterate that I think the engine is the problem. I think that's why we don't see cool shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not shutting down your idea. I think
No,
they are
I know,
shutting
I
down
know.
your idea.
Yeah, they're limiting my dreams.
I think they're limiting most
Yeah,
people's dreams.
Crytek, come on, man. Why'd you pick the worst engine ever? Hopefully this next engine will be good, though.
Well, it sounds like they're putting a lot of money into it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So
Given them a lot
Aaron,
of money, I hope they put
hell yeah, Aaron, do you have anything specific that you would like to add to that? It sounds like you put in a decent amount, but I'm just curious if you got anything like extra, because like overall, just the hunt feeling, you're pretty much set on it, or
I mean, sorry, I just saw something that gave me fucking whiplash. Holy shit! Oh my god.
got that fat booty
No.
jogger going by.
I guess it's kind of in that vein, but we'll talk about that later.
Atlanta.
But anyways, no, me personally, I like Hunt for what it is, and I say that because I take a pretty consistent amount of breaks from it, even though it's not like, oh hey, I'll just like not play the game for a week or something. Like it to me, like I'll get my weeklies done sometimes, and I'll just not play for the rest of the week, and that kind of keeps me in a flavor with the game to where I'm able to like, oh, if we're just playing all day for like the next 2 or 3 days, then I can do that, and I'm happy to do that. But if I were to play this game every day, this game would get stale for me.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
Just
I
like
feel like
anything else,
I'm keeping myself in a good spot because I'm like, I don't play every single day. But that is just me. So like, I feel like the game is fine in my opinion. Maybe like, I don't know, implement something to where people don't spend literally the entire 45 minutes crouching in bushes. But I don't really care that much because it doesn't affect me as much as like me getting shot in the face with a fucking shotgun every other game.
Right.
Yeah.
When you bring a rifle and then you bring a shotgun,
Yeah.
they bring a rifle, yeah. And then no matter what, you're
Yeah.
screwed. Yeah.
110%. And you know, honestly, one thing that I would like to add is we've had a couple of listeners. There was even one who commented on one of our episodes, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate when any of you interact with what we've done, and I am glad that all of you are listening and enjoying. And also, we've on our most recent poll, I put out a poll to should we do longer episodes. All of you voted no. Thank God.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
seriously.
you guys did. I was going to
Thank
make the
God.
new standard around like an hour and a half, but I couldn't agree with all of you more. I think an hour is the sweet spot, and I'm glad that all of you agree.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode. And we appreciate all of you tuning in, and your feedback is always going to be invaluable. I'm going to keep putting polls, and I'm going to actually change up some questions on the end of our Spotify podcasts. So check it out on Spotify. Leave us comments on the YouTube videos if you feel like. If not, that's totally fine. Any feedback would be invaluable. You fucking giggly bastards.
I saw that what they were giggling at.
I'm so sorry. I had to post it. It was just so funny.
Well, stay hunting, everyone.
Stay hunting, everyone.
Stay
Fuck
hunting.
this
Make sure you
episode.
hunt this summer with the boys.
Don't hunt. This game's a scam. It steals all your money. I promise.
What is this, Halo Infinite?
I promise. Halo Infinite's a better game. Play Halo Infinite.